Hello and welcome back to the Solo Gamers Club. Tonight we're continuing on with our playthrough of Fortune and Glory, the Cliffhanger game. This is episode 4. Now I've got quite a few corrections from the previous video. First one was, if you remember, we had a battle in the Caribbean between Jake Zane and Angel Espinosa and a Nazi lieutenant and a group of Nazi soldiers. Well, they should have been given an extra +2 fight dice based on that card. It says +2 fight dice and draw a Nazi villain. Well, the villain was the lieutenant card, which added an extra 1 to their total. So what I'm going to do to mitigate this, I think Jake Zane probably would have been KO'd in that combat. So we're going to KO Jake Zane. We're going to make a roll to find out how much glory he would have lost. And then he's going to return to San Francisco. Okay, he would lose 1. So we'll take 1 glory from Jake Zane. And he would return to San Francisco. That's his hometown, where he would be completely healed. So that will solve that problem. Next thing I failed to do is during the end phase, I should have picked a random location, a city, to place the mob headquarters in to see where it reappears. So we'll do that now. And it's going to reappear in San Francisco, interestingly enough. So that's where Jake Zane is right now. So we'll place that in San Francisco. All right. And then our last correction is, if you'll recall, when we were fighting, Li Mei Chen was in Western Europe and she was fighting against Joey Smiles. Well, she ended up KOing Joey, and this is something that I always forget about. It reads here, fighting a villain. It says the hero gains 1 glory for each hit done to a villain. Note that this is hits, not wounds. So she should have gained a total of 6 glory for KOing Joey Smiles. That's his wound capacity. So I'm going to award her 6 glory, and that should correct all the problems I had with the previous video. And now we're ready to begin the episode. We're going to start by making a roll for initiative. And here's the roll. All right, the initiative is going to go to Angel Espinosa. She rolled a 4, so she'll be the first player again for this turn. All right, Angel is currently in Mexico City. She's completely healed, and she has a total of 15 glory for her to spend. Right now, our villain track is at 10, so we got some time in between this, but there is going to be a larger issue happening, and that's with those 4 Crimson Hand acolytes that are deployed on the board. Eventually, they are going to recover the artifacts that they're, the locations that they're in. They're going to recover those artifacts, and that's going to be potentially 2, 4, 6 victory points right there, and not counting the fortune that acolyte in the Midwest will be taking each turn out of the mine. So either way, we're still in a very precarious position here. So we'll make a roll for movement for Angel Espinosa, and we can decide what she wants to do. Okay, she rolled a 6, so she's got plenty of movement points to use. Well, I guess Angel is going to move into the Midwest, and she'll attempt to confront that acolyte that is at the mine of the Azure Jewel. So we'll have her move into the Midwest. So she'll move 1 into Mexico, 2 into the Southwest, and 3 into the Heartland. And that'll be her turn. Next up is Li Mei Chen. She's in Los Angeles, and she does have that spear of, that is the Spear of Atlantis, that she could sell that in a major city for 6. So I think I'll leave her in Los Angeles, she'll sell the spear and then maybe buy some additional equipment or of the such. So, well, we'll make a roll for her too. She doesn't have to stay necessarily in Los Angeles. She could maybe make it to another major city. Okay, here's her roll for movement. Now she has a card that would give her some stuff in Cairo and Hong Kong. Maybe that's the thing to do, is to try to get, I'll try to get her to Hong Kong. We can use that other delivery card. Okay, here's her roll. She rolls a 6. That's great. So she's going to move 6 points. She'll move into the Western North Pacific, Pacific Crossing, and that's 2 points. And she moves to the other side of the Pacific Crossing. The Pacific Crossing is considered to be one space, so once you move in it, you're considered to be at both Pacific Crossings. So she's moved 2 movement points, 3, 4 into the South Pacific, and 5 into Hong Kong. I think that's the best bet for us. And now we got Jake Zane. He is in San Francisco, and that's where the Mob HQ has appeared. So we'll have him roll for movement, and then we'll decide what we want to do here. That's a 5. Well, we could sure get quite a bit of fortune if we can get to that Mine of the Azure Jewel. Maybe I'll do that. I'll put him there. So he's going to move 1 into the Southwest and 2 into the Heartland, and he'll try to help out Angel Espinoza with that mission. And then finally we have Jenny Butler. She is in Chicago. We'll have her roll for movement. She rolls a 1. Okay, well, we're going to have her move out in, there'll be a 3-party, 3 heroes in the same space. That's what we're going to do. We'll move her out into the Heartland as well. Then we get to draw a event card. And that card is revealed to be Malaria. Play on any hero, enemy, or villain in a jungle space. They immediately take d6 hits, or play while in a jungle space during your adventure phase to gain 3 glory. Okay, that's great. And that's going to conclude the movement phase. We'll move on to the adventure phase. And that's going to be a 3-way adventure with Angel Espinoza, Jake Zane, and Jenny Butler. They're all seeking the Mine of the Azure Jewel. Okay. Now, Mickey the Hammer is also in that space along with an Acolyte. There's one danger marker on the mine, and it has a collapse value of 2. So this could turn out to be a problem here, but we'll see what their first adventure is. All right, and their first adventure is Hostile Territory. Nazis. Who invited these guys to the party? All right, it's going to be a cunning 4+ test, and it's a deadly test. It'll require 3 successes to pass. And we have 3 heroes in the space. So any of those 3 will be able to take the test, and the other 2 can sit in support. Well, our best qualified hero to take the test is probably Jenny Butler. She has a cunning of 3. She's also going to gain +1 cunning from her monocle and +1 cunning from her personal butler. So that would give her a total of 5 dice, and both Jake Zane and Angel Espinoza would be able to double exert if they had to help out. So we're going to be making a roll with 5 dice for her. All right, and here's the roll. And she easily passed that. She has 4 successes. That's great. So we've passed the Hostile Territory adventure. That's going to earn 1 fortune. And that bumps us up now to a total of 10 fortune again. But it's going to add a danger token towards collapse. There was already 1 on that from before. So what's going to happen is those 2 danger tokens are going to be converted into a collapse token, and we're going to have to roll for collapse. So we'll assign a collapse token to that temple, and then we're going to have to roll and see if it collapses. So that'll be a 1d6 roll and On a roll of 1, it collapses. Okay, here's the roll. And it did not collapse, so we're good for now. We can either press on. We'd have to sneak past Mickey the Hammer to do it. I don't think there's much choice in the matter, so I think we'll do that. And all 3 of the heroes are going to choose that sneak path of 2. Mickey the Hammer has a search value of 4, so he'll be rolling 4 dice for this sneak test. Okay, here's the roll. And he did not roll a 2, so we are able to sneak past him without having to fight, and we can take another danger. And that's listed as Infiltrate Mob Gala, a black tie event, big crowds and bigger bankrolls. Sneak in through the kitchen when the staff isn't looking, or talk your way past the goons at the front door. It'll be either an Agility 6+ test requiring 2 successes, or a Cunning 5+ test requiring 3 successes. Well, I think we're going to take the Cunning test, and I'm going to have Jenny Butler do that again. Her Cunning is 3 + 1 for the monocle, + 1 for the personal butler. And Jake Zane and Angel Espinoza could exert if necessary, as this is a combined adventure. All right, and here's the roll. And she rolls a total of 2 successes. That will allow her to re-roll. We'll give her 2 success markers. And that allows her to re-roll those. You only need 1 more. And she did it. She has a 5, so she's completed the Infiltrate Mob Gala. That will award them another fortune, and that will place a danger token towards the collapse. It's at 1 of 2 now, with an existing collapse marker there already. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to camp down. Jenny Butler has 4 wounds on her, so this would allow her to heal up completely, and then I guess we'll just we'll let the villain see if the temple collapses when he does that, when he does his adventure roll. So that brings us up now to 11 fortune. And we're going to camp down. That'll earn us glory 5 for the Infiltrate Mob Gala and 4 for the hostile territory. And each of the characters, all 3 of them, will gain 9 glory. And the heroes are going to play a card. They have this Lucky Find card. It says, play on any hero, including yourself, when they complete a danger. That hero may immediately draw a gear card. All right, and we are going to play that on Angel Espinoza. So we'll have her draw a gear card. She has 2 gear cards right now, an elephant gun and a toolbox, so she's able to have 1 more. And this is the gear card that she has drawn. She gets a revolver with +2 combat. That's great. And they're going to play another card. It's called Betrayal, Sabotage. Play while in the same space as a villain to immediately do D6 hits to that villain. All right, so we're going to roll a D6 and see how many hits we inflict on Mickey the Hammer. He rolled a 3, so we're going to give 3 wounds now to Mickey the Hammer. He has no defense, so we'll mark him with 3 wounds. He has a wound capacity of 8. And we're going to play 1 additional card. It's called I'll Take That. Play to steal any 1 artifact or gear from another hero in the same space, or play while in the same space as a villain. Roll a D6. On a roll of 3+, steal any 1 artifact that the villains currently have. So we'll try it. Okay, here is the roll. And he rolled a 3. So that will allow us to steal any artifact we want. And I'm going to take an artifact that is a magic artifact. And that would help in stopping that Dark Rituals card from taking place. They have a total of, unfortunately, they have 2 different artifacts that have that magic symbol. So we're going to take the Shield of Time, and they'll still have a magic artifact, but the Shield of Time is worth 5 as opposed to the other one, which is worth 4. So we're going to give that to, I think, Jake Zane, and he'll hold on to that. All right. Okay, we'll move on to Li Mei Chen. She's in Hong Kong right now. And she draws the city event card Street Market. There is a thriving street market in this town. Place a marker at the city to show this. Any hero in the city may buy gear cards and common items for 1 less glory than normal, or 2 less glory if in a minor city. Minimum of 1 remains in play. All right, we'll mark that accordingly. As a part of Li's interaction with the city, she's going to attempt this secret delivery that she has. It says you have been given a secret package to deliver to Hong Kong. Discard while in the named city during your adventure phase to gain D6 fortune. So we'll have her roll a D6 and see how much fortune we can gather from that. Okay, here's the roll. We rolled a 6. That is fantastic. We get 6 glory. I mean 6 fortune. And that moves us up to 17 fortune. She also is going to sell the Spear of Atlantis, and it's a major city, so she'll gain 1 extra for that. That'll be another 6 fortune. That moves us up to a total of 23, and we need 42 to win the game, so that is great. Now, Li's already got 3 items. She has a scimitar, cigar, and a map, but she has that Expedition Leader card, which allows her to hold up to 3 more gear than normal. And she can purchase common items for 1 less glory. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to have her purchase a gear card. That'll cost her 7 because of the extortion value of the mob. So we'll pay 7 of her glory. That'll leave her with 3, and she's going to gain a gear card. And the cards reveal to be goggles, gear, clothing, glasses. Add +2 adventure dice to any tech or flying test. Discard to prevent all wounds you would take from a single source. Okay, that's great. And finally, Li is going to pay 1 glory, and that will heal 1 of the wounds that she has. And that's going to complete her turn. And next up would be Jake Zane and Jenny Butler, but they were all involved in that combined adventure at the Mine of the Azure Jewel. So that is going to end the adventure phase, and we'll move on to the villain phase. And we'll begin the villain phase with a card that they have called Dark Rituals. And that will allow the villains to roll a die, and they can move the villain track up 1 if they roll a 4, 5, or 6. They do have a magic item in their possession. So we'll have them make the roll. Let's see if they get a point. They do not. Okay, so that will end that. Now we'll draw a villain card to start out their phase. And the card is revealed to be Dark Powers. This card plays on the table. While the villains have at least 1 artifact with myth, any hero in the same space as a villain rolls 1 less adventure dice on any tests they take remains in play. Okay, I don't have the ability to cancel that card, so that will be active. We'll leave that on the table then, so that is a reminder to us. And next is the outpost step. The villains have a mob HQ, and that's located in San Francisco. So on a roll of 4, 5, or 6, they will place a mob thug on the board. Here's the roll. And they were successful. We'll find out what city that's going to appear in. And that's going to be in Los Angeles again. And there is none there, so we will place a mobster in Los Angeles. Now the mob does not have any hideouts on the board anymore. Those were all removed by us, so that's good. And we'll move on to the villain adventure step. And we'll start out with Joey Smiles. He is ready to be deployed, so he is going to go to the highest value artifact on the board that does not have a villain added. So that would be either the Skull of the Damned or the Cup of the Cursed Eye. So we will make a roll to determine which one of those two they're going to deploy to. And I did take a closer look, and we're supposed to place it, if they're tied in value, we're supposed to place the villain at the location that has the lowest number of dangers. So in that case, it's going to be the Skull of the Damned, and that is located in Eastern Europe. So that's where Joey Smiles is going to deploy. And next is Mickey the Hammer Schultz. He is in the Heartland, and he is seeking the mine of the Azure Jewel. Now that has a collapse marker on it and one danger on there already towards collapse with a collapse value of 2. His search value is a 4, but that is going to be reduced by 1 for each hero in that space. So he's only going to be rolling 1 die for this search. Now he has a ability called Blunt, and it says while searching he gets a wound on a 1 or 2. So keep all that in mind. Here's the roll. He rolled a 5, so that's a success. He's going to gain a fortune that'll leave 4 fortune left at the mine. And another danger marker is placed, and that has a danger value of 2, so the 2 dangers are removed, and another collapse marker will be placed. And we'll have to roll for collapse. This time we're going to be rolling 2 dice, and any of those dice comes up a 1, the temple will collapse. Here's the roll. And it did not collapse. So, all right, that will end the villain adventure phase, and we'll move on to the end phase. All right, we move on to the end phase, and we'll start out with our Crimson Hand acolytes. Each of them are going to get a danger token towards acquiring that artifact that they're on. And the one that is in the Heartland is going to get a fortune. That'll place a danger token there towards collapse. And that will be a 3rd fortune token for them that will raise the villain track from 10 to 11. Okay. And now let's take a look at these other artifacts where we place those tokens now. The one in Eastern Europe they need 3 danger tokens to get that one. The one in Italy requires 4, so they've got 3 of them there. And the one in the steppes requires 4, there's 3 there. So next turn they're going to be getting quite a bit. All right, none of the heroes are KO'd, and we don't need to replenish any artifacts. So we'll move on to a new turn. And we'll start by rolling for initiative. Wow, okay. Li Mei Chen is going to have the initiative, but we're going to be drawing a total of 3 event cards. That's amazing. Okay. First event card we'll draw for Jake Zane, and that is Contacts Cairo. You have received word from your contacts in Cairo. Discard while in the named city during your adventure phase to gain 1 fortune, draw an allies card, or draw 4 event cards. Okay. Next up would be the card for Jenny Butler, and that's Gear Up. Play on any hero to allow them to immediately draw a gear card, or play to give any ally +2 loyalty until the end of the game round. And finally, Angel Espinoza. She has the Entourage card. Play immediately. Play on any hero, including yourself. That hero may now carry up to 3 more allies than normal and have up to 2 sidekicks. Well, I think we'll play that Entourage card on Angel Espinoza. And now we'll move on to the movement phase, and we'll start with Li Mei Chen. She is in Hong Kong. And we'll make a roll for movement for Li. She rolls a 4, so she's got 4 movement points, and I think what we need to do is probably move her into the steppes and see if she can maybe take that artifact before that acolyte will gain possession of that. So we'll have her move 1 and 2 into the steps. And next up is Jake Zane. He is currently in the Heartland, and we'll have him roll for movement. We'll see what he might want to do. Here's the roll. And he rolled a 3, so he'd have 3 movement points available to him. He could either remain there, but see, that temple is going to collapse. There's 2 collapse markers there. I think we'll move. I'll let Jake stay there, and I think we're going to try to take one of the other 2 heroes that are there, and we'll try to move them out. So Jake will remain where he is. We'll move on to Jenny Barnes, and she's going to roll for movement. Here's the roll. And she rolls a 4. Okay, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to send her into Los Angeles where she can battle that mobster thug there. And that might be the best bet. Or she could go after that Mob HQ, and that would try to move that villain track down even farther. Yeah, I suppose that would make the most sense. All right, we'll move her into San Francisco. So she's going to move 1 and 2 into San Francisco, and she'll eventually try to take on that Mob HQ. And finally, we have Angel Espinoza. We'll have her roll for movement. She rolls a 4, so I think we'll leave her there, and she'll assist Jake Zane in his efforts with that temple. Okay, that completes the movement. We'll go on to the adventure phase. Li Mei Chen is in the steps, and she's seeking the Shroud of the Crimson Hand. And it says, after all dangers, you must fight Order of Crimson Hand to get the artifact. So they're going to have to. She would have to fight 2 Crimson Hand, the one that's in the space already, and another one. So that's going to be a tough one for her. Well, we'll start it out with an adventure. And we start out with a high-speed car chase. You'll have to step on the gas if you want to get away. She needs to perform an Agility 5+ test, and this is a deadly test. Her agility is a 5, so that's good. All right, and we'll have her roll 5 dice for the test. Now, since this is a deadly test, she is able to double exert if necessary. So she's looking for 2 agility successes. Here's the roll. And she easily passed that, so that's great. We're going to give her a danger marker. And she has completed the high-speed chase, and she's going to move on. Next up is a deadly assassin. Trained from birth in the arts of killing, the assassins of the Tugari are the most deadly in the world. She has to perform an Agility 5+ test, deadly test, with 3 successes, or a Cunning 6+ test with 2 successes. Well, I think Lee is going to play this card, the map card. That will allow her to discard the map to redraw a danger. I think that will try to find a danger that's a little easier for her. And it doesn't get much easier. Deadly trap. Spot the hidden mechanism and carefully pick your way through the hall to avoid springing the trap. She has to perform a lore 4+ deadly test with 3 successes, or a cunning 5+ test needing 2 successes. Well, she has a card called Secret of Success, and it says play at any time to allow a hero to automatically pass a test, even if it would have otherwise been failed. So I think we'll have her try the cunning test. She has a cunning of 3, and we'll see if she can pass that. If not, we'll use that card. Okay, here is the roll. Cunning 5+ test. And she ended up with 1 success, so we'll mark her with 1, and she can continue on. Here's the roll. And she did it. She passed that, so that's good. That's her second danger. She needs to solve 2 more. And her next one's another car chase. Outmaneuver and outrun the speeding car. Agility 5+ with 2 successes. Okay, she has an agility of 5, so she'll be rolling 5 dice for the test. And see if she can pass this. She's by far been my best operative. Okay, here's the roll. And she has one success, so we'll keep that success marker there. And we get to re-roll. And she easily passes that. And that will be her third danger that she has passed. If she can get one more, she is going to get that artifact, and then she has to deal with the Crimson Hand. And the next one is Nightclub Rendezvous. Discover the truth as you pick your way through the crowded nightclub to meet with your contact. She has to pass a cunning 6+ test and needs a single success. Okay, her cunning is a 3, so she'll be able to roll 3 dice. And in the event she doesn't pass that, we'll use that card. That will give us the auto success. Okay, here's the roll. She failed it, but we're going to use that card. And that is called the Secret of Success. Play at any time to allow a hero to automatically pass a test, even if it would otherwise have been failed. Okay, so that's going to give her her 4th danger token, and that will give her the artifact. But in order to acquire it, she's going to have to defeat not only the acolyte that's on the board, but there's one that's associated with the danger itself. So we'll have to play through that. All right, Leah's going to have to fight the Order of the Crimson Hand, and that'll be the model that's in the space to start out with. They have a fight dice of 2 and 4 wounds, but they gain +1 fight dice for each wound they have taken. Now, Lee also can try to escape from them, which would be an Agility 5+ test, and that would gain, she'd need to have 2 successes. That might be a better bet than fighting these things. I think that's what she's going to do. She'll try to escape from them so she can do her agility test, and she has an agility of 5. So let's try that. Okay, here's the roll. She has 1 success towards the escape. We'll mark her with that, and she gets to re-roll again. And she easily passed that, so she was able to escape the Crimson Hand that's on the board. Now she has to escape 1 more, and that was a part of the Shroud of the Crimson Hand. So we're going to try another escape attempt. She gets to roll 5 dice, and she needs 5s or greater. Here's the roll. She has 1 success, so we'll leave that success marker there. She needs 1 more. If she can do this, that'll go a long way to helping us out. Here's the roll. And that's a failure. Let's see if we've got any cards that we can. Yes, we do. We have this Too Close. Wait, even better yet. We've got this card here. Play to let any hero automatically pass an escape test even after they have rolled the dice. So we're going to escape from that other Crimson Hand, and she is going to acquire the Shroud of the Crimson Hand, which is absolutely fantastic. That model will be removed from the board, and its successes that they had, all of this is removed, and Lee remains in the steps, and she's acquired that artifact. That's absolutely fantastic. And in addition, Lee is going to gain a total of 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 glory for those high-speed car chase, deadly trap, and car chase that she passed. So that's fantastic. We'll give her 11 glory. And that's going to complete Lee's adventure phase. We'll move on to Jake Zane and their combined adventure with Angel Espinosa in the Heartland. All right, they're in the Heartland seeking the Mine of the Azure Jewel. There is 3 fortune left on that card. There are 2 collapse tokens and 1 danger token towards another collapse. So we are going to get a danger card and see what they're going to be up against. That danger is revealed to be confrontation at the docks. Following the goons to the dock, you quickly realize they're shipping more than just simple cargo. All right, we have to do a combined agility and cunning test or fight mobsters. Now, they have a Dark Powers ability, which says that while the villains have at least one artifact with myth, any hero in the same space as the villain rolls one less adventure dice on any tests they take. So maybe we're better off fighting the mobsters, and I think that's what we're going to do. And the mobsters have 3 fight dice with 4 wounds, and I think what we'll do is we'll have Angel Espinosa start this out. She has a combat of 4, a elephant gun with 3 combat, and a revolver with +2 combat. So that would give her a total of 9 dice, and as far as I can tell in the rules, you're able to stack those items. So she'll be rolling 9 dice. Okay, here's the roll. And she ended up getting 1, 2, 3 hits. The mobsters ended up with 1. So 3 hits will be assigned to the mobsters. We'll give them 3 wounds. They have no defense. And the 1 wound that they did, oh, I'm sorry, they have a total of 1. So that would be absorbed by her defense. And now we'll move on to Jake Zane's attack. He has a combat of 4 +2 for his revolver. He'll be rolling 6 dice. And here's the roll. And he ended up with 4 hits. That's more than enough to take out the mobsters. The mobsters do 1 hit to him, but his defense will prevent that. And so they have completed that confrontation at the docks. And that's going to earn them 1 more fortune. But unfortunately, another danger marker is placed there. The temple has a collapse of 2. So we are going to replace those 2 danger markers with another collapse token. And then we have to roll for collapse. We'll be rolling 3 dice. And any 1 is going to bring the house down. So we'll make the roll. And here's the roll. And it has not collapsed, amazingly. Okay, so now they can continue on. If they choose, they will have to do a sneak around Mickey the Hammer. And they're going to press on. So they're going to take a sneak number of 4. Mickey has a search value of 4, and he's going to take a wound on a 1 or 2 because of that blunt ability of his. So he'll be rolling 4 search dice. Okay, here's his search roll. And they rolled no 4s, so they were not found, and he has no wound damage. So we will continue on with another adventure card. And the next one is the Riddle of Nardu. One of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world, you are faced with the nefarious Riddle of Nardu. Sealed in the stone passage and surrounded by the bones of all those who have come before, you have but one way out. That's going to take a lower 6+ test with 2 successes needed. All right. Well, I think Angel Espinosa is going to take the test. She has a lore of 2, but she also has a toolbox, which says pay 2 glory to roll an extra adventure dice during any test. This may be used multiple times per test. Now the problem is this Dark Powers card, and that's going to reduce the adventure dice, 1 less adventure dice on the test. So that means we're going to be rolling 1 die, and then she's going to have to probably employ that toolbox, I guess. So that seems to be the way to do this, and so we'll make the rolls. Okay, here's her roll. We need 2 successes. And she rolled a 2, so that's a miss. And I think she's just going to keep paying. She has that toolbox, and that allows her to keep paying 2 glory to roll an extra die. It can be used multiple times per test. So we'll have her pay 2 glory. That leaves her with a total of 22. So that would allow her a lot of rolls. She'll pay the 2 and roll another die. Okay. She needs 6s though. And I guess she's going to do it again. I'm going to get her glory over here so it'll be easier for us to manage. This is that toolbox card, and she's going to pay 2 more and attempt to roll another dice. And she'll have to keep doing that until she can get a 6. She needs 2 6s though. So that's going to be a tough one. Okay, that'll leave her at 3 and change. And she'll just keep rolling. There's a 6. So she has 1 success. We'll mark her with that. And she's going to pay another 2 and just keep rolling until she can get that another 6. She did it. That's great. So they've passed the Riddle of Nardoo. That is going to earn them another fortune. We would place a danger marker on there towards a collapse. And they're going to try another sneak around Mickey the Hammer to get that final piece of fortune that's in the mine. And they're going to try a sneak of 6. So we place that number 6 down there. And he is going to be rolling 4 dice for his search. Any 6s, they have to fight a round against him. And here's the search roll. And there's 1 6, so each of them are going to have to fight a fight round against him. And this is going to be the mother of all battles. Mickey's going to be rolling a total of 8 combat dice. And Angel Espinosa is going to be rolling a total of 9 with her elephant gun and her revolver. So I think I'm going to need a little bit bigger dice tray. Okay, and here's the roll. Okay, Angel has done a total of, we'll get all of her successes up here. Those are misses. And Mickey has 4 successes, 4 misses. All right, so Angel has done a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hits. He has no defense, so that would give him a total of 9 wounds, and that is going to KO Mickey the Hammer Schultz. He is going to do a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 hits against her. She has a defense of 1, so that will take 1 of those out, and she is going to take 3 wounds. So 3 wound tokens will be added to Angel. He is KO'd. He goes back to headquarters in a KO'd position, which is absolutely fantastic. And she is also going to gain glory for 8. They say for every hit, but in other words, so in this case, she would get 6 glory for each hit that was done. Those happen to all be wounds too. So she's going to gain 6 glory for that. She has a chunk of that. And then they can continue on and take another danger, and that would possibly clean the mine out. Their next danger is Agents of Evil. It seems you're not the only one looking for this artifact. Draw a random villain and add them to the adventure. Roll a sneak test to get past the villain. If successful, the danger is passed. If discovered, complete any fight rounds and then flip to the cliffhanger. Okay, we have to draw a random villain. And the villain that appears is Sir Benjamin Crowley, corrupt British lord. All right, he has a search value of 3. So he is going to be rolling 3 dice, and we're going to have to pick a path. If we can escape him without being found, we are going to complete the adventure. They're going to select the search path of 2, and he's going to be rolling 3 dice. So if any 2s come up, we're going to go to a cliffhanger. Okay, here is the roll. And they did. They got two 2s came up. So we'll read that card, and it says, if we roll a sneak test to get past the villain, if successful, the danger is passed. If discovered, complete any fight rounds and then flip to a cliffhanger. All right. Benjamin Crowley has a combat value of 5. And it says here, tainted. For every fight dice roll of 6 that he gets, the hero must discard a gear or 2 glory. Oh boy. Okay, we have to fight 2 rounds against him. Okay, here's the first round. This is Angel Espinosa with her revolver and elephant gun. Her elephant gun allows her to ignore an enemy's defense. So that means that Sir Benjamin Crowley has 0 defense. He'll be rolling 5 dice. Any 6s for him, and for every fight dice roll of 6, the hero must discard a gear or 2 glory. Okay, here's the roll. All right, we'll pick out all the successes here. Wow, she had a ton. He has no 6s, he just has 2 5s. All right, so if that's the case, she's going to do a total of 6 damage to Benjamin Crowley because he has no defense. So we're going to mark him with 6 wounds out of his 7. Right, and he did a total of 2. One of those would be used up with the defense of Angel. So she's going to take another wound. That's going to be her 4th. So she's at max now. All right, next up is going to be Jake Zane, and he is going to be using a fight dice of 6. He has a revolver. He'll be rolling 6 dice. Crowley's rolling 5, and 6s will result in extra loss to the hero. Okay, he rolled a total of 1, 2, 3 successes. And Crowley has 3 successes with a couple of 6s in there. Okay, we'll start out with the damage against Crowley. He has a defense of 1, so one of those is gone. 2 hits are going to get through, and that's going to KO Crowley. And Jake Zane is going to gain a total of 2 glory for that, for each of the wounds hits against him. Give him those 2. And now Crowley is going to do a total of 3 hits to Jake Zane, and he'll have to surrender 4 glory because of that tainted ability. So he'll have to surrender 4 glory. So Crowley is removed, and it becomes a cliffhanger called Buried Alive. And we move on now to the adventure phase for Jenny Butler. She is currently in San Francisco, so she is going to have to do a city adventure. And she draws the City Adventure Secret Delivery. You've been given a secret package to deliver to Paris. Discard while in the named city during your adventure phase, and you gain D6 fortune. Well, that's great. All right, Jenny is going to interact with the city, and I think she's going to buy a gear card for a total of 7 glory. That will include the percentage of extortion for the mob. And she's going to draw a gear card. And the gear card is a revolver, so that's good. She can use that. That would be her 2nd item. And she already has 3 allies, but she does have that entourage card, which allows her to have up to 3 more allies. So that's good. We'll give her that revolver. And now she has the choice of whether she wants to try to take out that mob HQ or not. And I think we better, because in the end phase, those acolytes are going to be probably giving them quite a bit of victory points. So I think she'll try to attack that mob HQ. And that means that she's going to have to survive a Search 8 test. And we'll pick out a search number for her. All right, she selected search number 5, and here's the mob's roll. It's a Search 8. For every 5 that comes up, she'll have to fight a mobster. Okay, here's the roll. And believe it or not, no 5s came up. That means she has successfully destroyed the mob HQ. And we get to gain any fortune they have. They have none there. But we get to reduce the villain track by D3, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, here's the D3 roll. And we reduce it by 3. That moves the villain track from 11 down to 8. That is absolutely fantastic. Now that mob HQ has been destroyed. That will reappear during the end phase at a random city. Outstanding. And that's going to complete our adventure phase. We'll move on to the villain phase. We'll begin the start of the villain phase with their Dark Rituals card. And that's going to allow them to roll a d6, and on a result of 4, 5, or 6, the villain track will advance. And here is the roll. And it's going to advance 1. That moves them back up to 9 now. Okay, they're at 9. Now we are going to go to the outpost step. They have no outpost on the board, and there's no HQ, so they'll gain nothing from that. We'll move on to the villain adventure step. Joey Smiles is already deployed to the board. He's in Eastern Europe seeking the Skull of the Damned. He has, currently there are 2 successes because of the Acolyte, so all he needs is 1 more to acquire that. His search value is a 5, so he'll be rolling 5 dice. And here's his roll. And he easily passes that. He is going to acquire the Skull of the Damned. That Acolyte will go away. Danger markers and the artifact marker are gone. They are going to go up 2 points on the villain track, up to 11. And Joey Smiles will return to HQ in a ready state. All right. Now it's Mickey the Hammer. He is in a KO'd state, so he'll move to delayed. He won't be able to deploy to the board for a while following that encounter that he had with Jake and Angel. Next is the end phase. We begin the end phase by awarding success tokens to anybody, all of the acolytes that are on the board. And that'll be 1 in here in Italy. And that is the Cup of the Cursed Eye that has a danger value of 4. There's 4 tokens there. They are going to acquire that. That is going to move them up the track 2 more. They're at 13. And that Acolyte is now removed from the board. And finally, we have an Acolyte in the Heartland. There is 1 fortune left in the mine, so they are going to gain that. And with that, they gain the fortune artifact, which is that temple. Give that to them. And they're going to go up 2 points for that. And that's going to win them the game. 15 victory points. We played it as tough as we could at the end, but just didn't have enough left. Well, that results in a tough loss for our 4 heroes, Li Mei Chen, Jake Zane, Jenny Butler, and Angel Espinoza. They ended up finishing with 25 fortune, and they would have needed a total of 40 plus the extra 2 for the gold fever, so we weren't really that close. But I attempted to do as best as I could by attacking those mob headquarters and hideouts, and that seemed to help. But when those acolytes came on the board, there was not much I could do with that. They were giving constant successes towards acquiring those artifacts, and they were scattered all over across Europe there and in Siberia, and I just couldn't handle all of the threats that were around us. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, this series, Fortune and Glory, the Cliffhanger game. I hope to see you back at the Solo Gamers Club for our next video series, and until then, have a good evening.